guys to bear with me. This is very hard for me because I'm speaking of my eldest son. I didn't have to speak, but I chose to speak today. One thing I would like to kind of make this a teachable moment is this, that I think I'm hearing, I'm sorry for your loss, is almost falling on deaf ears. And so I think to help me go through my own healing process is to just simply just say the following. I give you my heartfelt condolences, because I think after a while we'll pull from a cliche and we think that helps someone, and it doesn't. And really, to be honest, to lose a spouse and to lose a child, there are no words that you can give them of comfort. There's nothing. Unless you've been there and done that, there's no words. They just fall on deaf ears. When I lost my husband, I feel as though I lost my right arm. I lost my sense of direction. And that means I had to start a whole new path all over again for my life. And I looked to my elder son to help me lead that path and create a new path again. Now, I will be honest, right after my husband passed away, our relationship became very strained. And, you know, we as parents, we have to set boundaries with our children. And I set a boundary with him. And we didn't talk for about a year and a half, 2 years. But, you know, a mother is a mother. And even though we may not talk to that child, we won't answer the phone because we are a mother. And when he called me, and matter of fact, I was so angry with him, I will be honest, that I erased his number out of my phone. And so when the phone rang, I didn't recognize the number, and that's when he texted, says, "Mom, please pick up the phone." I picked the phone up, and immediately we just picked up where we left off at. He informed me that he was in trouble, he was in some issues, and we just picked up from there. And at that point, we made plans. I had changed over my estate. That was the plan. He had said, "Mom, I'm all you got right now." And he said, "You know, I'm going to be coming home in about 3 years. I'm going to build a house next door to you, and I'm going to burden the load off of you so you can just kind of relax." Well, obviously that didn't happen. But we continued on, and he changed his plans. And he said, "Mom," I knew when he was going out to Venezuela, and he said, "Mom, if anything ever happened to my children, or if anything ever happened to me, really," he said, "I know you're going to take care of my girls. You will follow my plan." And I said, "And I would." And I never expected this to happen, but it did. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. Was he sick? Not to my knowledge, he was not sick. But what I am promised to do is this. I'm going to carry out his wishes. His wishes will be carried out, and I'm going to follow through in everything what we talked about in details. Again, there are no words that we can give to me that's going to bring me comfort. But I know my son would want me to go on with my life. But really, not only, you know, when one loses a spouse, they become a widow. But there is a word when you lose a child. We may call it a bereaved parent. But really, in Sanskrit, it means valoma. Valoma means it's out of order. We are not to bury our children are to bury us. And so right now, I am a valoma. And that word was coined by a lady by the name of Kayla Holland in 2009 to give us a better understanding what it is to be a grieving parent. And so at this point in this juncture in my life, really, to be honest, I'm very, very transparent. I lost a husband. I even have, really, to be honest, have lost my younger child to mental health, which technically he's invisible. So really, I've lost two children, and I have one son basically left. And if we look at our family dynamics and our family system, when my husband died, there was a shift in the foundation. When I lost my son, my younger son, there was a crack in the foundation. And at this point, when I lost my son, the whole foundation is just about crumbling. What I now have left is the footers in a house. When you build a house, you have to create the footers first. My 3 granddaughters are the footers. And at this point, I'm going to have to rebuild my life all over again. There is also a Japanese word, it's called kintsugi. And it means when we break a pot, it is to fill that pot. And technically the only way I'm going to be able to fill and restore my pot and foundation, and that is through support and love. And I'm going to do that really through the support of my grandchildren, my son. And I did something that my son wanted me to do. And that was to restore my relationships with my siblings. And so I know Kevin Jr. would be happy with that. It took a tragic situation like this to bring us back together, but we are back together again. And so I hope with their support to help me rebuild this foundation and to carry out the promise that I told him that I would do. Create trust funds, build a house for my granddaughters, and to make sure that I watch over them. And that is a promise that I'm choosing to do at this point. And I want to thank every last one of you guys for coming out here. The day I had to make the hard decision to take him off of life support like his father, his comrades were there, and I thank each and every last one of them. What I am imparting you, as I said at his bedside, my son obviously was a wonderful, wonderful soldier. He imparted in every last one of you guys duty and honor. And I ask you to do the same thing. You keep his spirit alive. As you serve and you teach and you coach, you think of my son, because my son wants you to do that. It was very evident that day, you people, you loved my son, and I've never received such a support in my entire life, and it shows today. Thank you so very much. I think out of all of the sailors I have adopted, never had daughters before. I actually have 3 daughters now, and you are also a part of that daughter as well. And I really thank every last one of you guys for coming out here today to support me in this troubling time that I never expected to go through. I never will want to see a family member or friend to go through, to lose a spouse and to lose a child, because again, there's no words will ever comfort that person. Only time will heal those wounds. Thank you so very much.